in fact, first and foremost, I'm grateful that you have given me this privilege and the honor of speaking to your children. So I'm really, really grateful for that. And more than that, and more grateful than that, I am extremely proud of you, Mr. Hari, because you know why I agree always to come and meet your children is because I admire and I appreciate your passion to bring these learning opportunities for your children. No, not a lot of teachers do this for for their children. So children, you need to be very, very proud of Mr. Hari as your teacher, and also you need to be very thankful to him that he goes out of his way to arrange for these sessions for speakers to come and speak to you. Now, remember this. This is not it is not a mandatory part of Mr. Hari's job description. For him, it is just teaching is his primary part. But as an educator, he consider this necessary, that the exposure for the children to have learning experiences out of their classrooms. Learning experiences which are not limited to math, English, science. This is what makes Mr. Hari special. And in fact, some of you should write and nominate him for the Varkey's Global Teacher Prize Award. Okay? All of you, it is through students who can nominate him for the work that he does with you. Because I'm sure I'm not the only speaker that comes to speak to you. He, in his efforts, arranges for educators from around the world to come and to give you learning experiences. So, Mr. Hari, congratulations on that and keep up the good work. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Abhilasha, for your kind words. And I will definitely strive my level best to bring laurels to my school and my students and as well as my country.
Wonderful. You need to apply for the T4 Country Ambassador application and also apply for the T4 World Best School Prize this year.
Yeah, please.
Okay.
Yeah,
I will help you with the application.
Yeah.
I will help you with the application. Okay.
Yes. So, Abhilasha, could you please introduce yourself as briefly as you can so that my students can ask you some questions?
All right. So, good morning, everyone.
Say loudly again.
Wonderful. That's what I wanted to hear. The good energy in the class. And I want everybody's attention on the screen. So you're going to stop talking. You're going to stop being distracted. And are going to give your full attention to the screen. Okay. It is my holiday. It is 7:30 a.m. in the morning. I would have still continued to love to snuggle up and sleep some more. But then I knew that Mr. Hari has organized for this class. And I did not want to miss it. Okay. I get very limited holidays. So today, if I'm here, then I want your attention. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So my name is Abhilasha Singh, and I am from this beautiful place called Dehradun. Just by show of hands, tell me how many of you have heard of the name Dehradun?
Dehradun.
How many of you have heard of Dehradun? Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So I belong to Dehradun, and I'm working in United Arab Emirates in the capital, Abu Dhabi, in an Indian curriculum school. My school is a K-12 school. That means there are classes from KG to grade 12. I do a lot of things. I am very passionate about SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals. So I'm a SDG advocate by the United Nations Sustainable Development Solution Networks. I am also a T4 country ambassador. I am a climate project country ambassador. So I do a lot of work that is related to sustainable development goals. I'm a principal in a school at the moment. I've been a teacher for 25 years. And what I'm most interested in, more passionate about is Model United Nations program, which is I train students to debate at the Model UN. I would love to start that in your school as well. If you're interested, it's a wonderful debating platform. It is a simulation of the United Nations. And I'm a sports person. I'm a sports person. I run, I used to play handball and basketball when I was your age. I have played for my state. I've played nationals in the game of handball and basketball. And now I run marathons. I train to run marathons. I'm a long distance runner. Yeah.
Hello, ma'am. I am Sai Nagasri. I am an 8th grade student from ZPH School, Ailavaram. I proudly delighted to take an opportunity to interact with you. Ma'am, I would like to pose a question. What is the goal of career counseling?
Okay, wonderful. All of you are, I understand, in grade 8,
Yes.
Yes.
right? Okay. So career counseling. Children, career counseling is the main goal of career counseling is to help students identify what field that they would like to. No need to, you have to write it down. Are you going to write it down? I think if Mr.
Yes,
Hari is recording.
yes. I am here actually. They have the habit of taking the running notes. No problem. You can carry on.
Because it would nice if you listen, okay? And
Okay.
later on you can just remember. I mean, you're
Okay.
not going to write.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Uh, important points you can note down. Okay, it's good to take notes. Of course, I know I even let my students also take notes. Important points you write down. No need to write each and everything. Okay. So the career counseling is important because it's important. It helps the students to first and foremost identify which field they would like to join after their studies, after their schooling. So the field of higher education is competitive. It's also if you don't get into a government college or institution, it's very expensive as well. Private universities charge a lot. So first and foremost, the idea is that the students should be aware of what are the government institutions that are available for their area of interest, and what are the methods to get into these government institutions. Career counseling goals also help the students to identify their interest. What are your interests? It is, understand this also, children, that these interests are should be your interest, not your parents' interests. Most of the times what happens is the parents who want you to become engineer, or they want you to become a doctor. Perhaps your interest would lie somewhere else. You would maybe like to pursue the field of sociology, or would like to pursue the field of economic finances, economic engineering, or financial engineering. But your parents want you in a structured career options, which is become a mechanical engineer, electronic engineer, or become a doctor, become a pediatrician or a dentist. First and foremost, it is all the Indian parents want the children to become doctors and engineers. Okay, so but everybody doesn't have the caliber. You need to be very good at math. You need to have a lot of memory power, right? So most important fact is to first understand what are your interests, what would you like to do, and then do you have the aptitude for that. So career counseling goals help. There are many different layers to it, and first is the aptitude test, and from the aptitude test comes the counseling, where looking at the aptitude result of the aptitude, the career counselor then has a sit down with the children, with that particular child, and then lays out the options that are available. And there are some organizations which work one-to-one with the students till the time the child has made it across the line. That means got into an institute. Okay, I can tell you one such organization. There are many organizations over there, but you need to look for those who are working with the children's best interest in mind and not their own. That means it should not be a profit making machine on you. There should be a very holistic and a very honest way of working with the children. Okay, does that answer your question, Beta?
You answered, ma'am.
No, if you have any doubt in this, if there are any other leading questions that have come across if that popped into your mind while I was talking, you can ask that.
No, ma'am.
Okay,
You,
wonderful. So what would you like to do, Sanvi? Sai, your name is Sai.
Software engineer.
Pardon?
Software engineer.
You want to become a software engineer. Wonderful, wonderful. Do you know, have you identified the college that you want to join, the university that you want to join? So you need to start doing it now. Okay. See, there are children around the world who are very focused, and right in grade 8, grade 9, they start researching and they start identifying the universities that they're going to join. They even, like, I would suggest to all of you that you need to plan what are you doing 5 years from now, what are you doing 10 years from now. So when you look at what are you doing 10 years from now, you would have identified the companies that you want to join. Once you have identified the companies that you want to join, that means your career pathway is clear. That you want to join Cisco if it is software engineering, you want to join Google, Apple, Cisco, or any other such organization. So then you need to identify which are the colleges, universities from which these organizations pick up their interns, their employees. Okay. So once you have identified that, then you go after how you're going to get into that university, because the university placement program is very important. Okay. Wonderful.
My name is Kusmasri. I'm an 8th grade student from GPHS Ailavaram. This is a golden opportunity for me. Shall I ask you a question, ma'am?
Absolutely, absolutely. It's a golden opportunity for me to speak to all of you.
What are some tips of career counseling?
Can you repeat the question? What are
some tips of career counseling?
some tips of career counseling?
Yes,
See, I told you, I just spoke about these, the tips for career counseling, in the sense that, first and foremost, do you have a career counselor section, a council in your school? Do you have somebody?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So you need to speak to your principal. Okay. You should propose a project. You should send a proposal to the school principal to assign a teacher, or maybe, if I don't know if there are budget restrictions, probably a new teacher, a new post cannot be created, but somebody from the school, some senior teacher can be assigned the role of the school career counselor. Mostly it is somebody who's teaching in the grade 11, 12. Okay. Or you can propose Mr. Hari's name also. So the career counselor of the school then works closely with the students. He becomes the medium between the school and the universities. So you need to he or she will invite the universities to hold a career fair in the school. Okay, so there you've got universities coming in for admissions, telling you what their programs are, what are the ways to get into these universities. Okay. And then any other opportunity of any other university organizing these information sessions, the career counselor will help the information to be distributed in the school. Okay, so this is that generally from grade 9 onwards, we start inviting students to come and see these programs, attend these programs. Some of them are talk sessions, some of them are motivation sessions, some of them are awareness sessions, or things like that. All right. So career counseling, more tips would rather be not for you, Lakshmi, right? You said your name is?
Kusmasri.
Kusmasri. Sorry, mine. So Kusum. Can I call you Kusum?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So Kusum, these career counseling tips would be more for the teacher rather than for the children. For you, what I would suggest is, and for everyone, that you need to be aware of your interest. First and foremost, write it down, lay down, okay, these are my interest area as future options. This is what I want to do. When I grow up, I want to become a army officer. That's always on top of my list. So army officer. Nowadays, you know that the girls have also started getting into NDA. All of you are aware of this? National Defense Academy, Khadakwasla only took boys. There was only boys entry till last year. This year, the first batch of girls have graduated from National Defense Academy. Okay. Now, what is National Defense Academy? NDA. You've heard of NDA? Show me a thumbs up if how many of you have heard of NDA? Okay, wonderful. One hand. Is your father in the army? How many of you have got your parents in defense? Anybody from defense over here?
Yes, ma'am. One or two are there.
Okay, wonderful. Wonderful. Okay. So National Defense Academy, Khadakwasla is in Pune, Maharashtra. And NDA is the first option after grade 12. Like if you want to join the army, or sorry, if you want to join defense services, the first option is NDA. So that is the first, after grade 12, your career is sought. You appear for the UPSC exam, clear it, and then you're in NDA, and that's it. Like after that, your government of India's responsibility. Okay. So now even the girls are getting, have the opportunity to join NDA. Okay. Now, once you join NDA, it gives you the option of joining Air Force, Army, or Navy. All right. After that, then you go to the Naval Academy, or IMA Military Academy, or Air Force Academy. Okay. Like that. So first and foremost, children, all of you need to write down, lay down what you want to do. So there should be 4 or 5 options in that. Okay. And then you go ahead and see, okay, if I want to become an army officer, or if I want to join the defense, these are my options. If I want to become an engineer, these are my options. If I want to become a doctor, these are my options. If I want to get into research field, I want to do a PhD scholar and become a research scientist, these are my options. If I want to join the field of, if I want to join UN, then this is how I want to go through it. Okay, all these things you need to write down. And then you will realize, I will give you a tip, that math is one of the strong subjects that you need to, or is one of the subjects you need to be strong at. So all of you have to do very well in math. Okay. All right.
Hello, ma'am. My name is
Hi.
Shruti. I'm studying 8th grade at CPHS Ailavaram. I feel proud to interact
Shruti.
with you. Yes, ma'am.
Your name is Shruti.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Well, let me forget the names first, no? Right.
Ma'am, may I pose you a question?
Of course, of course, of course.
I'm currently in class 8. How can I set my career from this early age?
So exactly what I told to Kusum. Your interest area, okay, and your aptitude. What are you good at? You might be good at, you might want to become an engineer, okay, and in engineering, what do you want to become, Shruti? What is your career goal?
Engineer, ma'am.
How many of you want to become engineers? Oh, half the class. And the boys behind the Shruti, what are your options?
What's your option?
Yeah,
Teacher. English.
English teacher. Very good.
IPS officer. Railway.
Very good. Very good. IAS officer. How many? Somebody said IPS officer. Very good. Wonderful. Wonderful. Great. Great. Wonderful. So it's lovely to see that all of you have already know that what you want to do, because a lot of children in my school, if I ask, my grade 8 students are sometimes lost. Not everybody is able to answer what they want to do. So it's wonderful to know this. So have your interest area and your aptitude. Very important. Your interest and your aptitude has to match. You want to become an engineer, but you're not good at math. You don't have aptitude for math and physics. Then this is going to be a very big problem. Okay. So then you also need to have your second option. Okay, I want to become an engineer. Maybe I'm not good at it. I might not be able to crack it. So what is my second option? So my second option is, perhaps I want to become a lawyer. Okay. Or then for lawyer, you need to have, first and foremost, good communication skills, good articulation, good debating skills, right? You need to have a lot of knowledge. You need to read a lot. I know one of the questions is on reading, so I'm going to come to that. Okay. And then after that, perhaps then what is the next option that you have? You want to become an IS officer. So in UPSC exam. So you apply for UPSC, you have Indian Foreign Services, Indian Administrative Services, then Indian Police Service. Okay. And then it goes on like that. So that way, first and foremost, lay down your interest areas and what are your aptitudes. Okay. And then we go ahead, like I told Kusum, identify your colleges you want to join, identify the pathway to that college, pathway to that university, and then then it is your determination. You need to then lay down your what all you will do in a day. Okay, so it is not just studies, it is also extracurricular that will help you to get into these universities. How many of you want to study abroad? Anybody who wants to join some Ivy League colleges abroad?
Abroad. Do you have any plan to go abroad?
No.
Nobody.
Why not? Why not? Why not?
So, Abhilasha, actually, the only problem with these girls and boys, I think the economical issues. I think the most of their parents are not too rich.
So
for them.
wonderful, good. Okay, let's look at this question also. So, girls and boys, first and foremost is you need to have a dream. Okay, you need to have a dream, and you know what Dr. Abdul Kalam said? Said that your dreams should not let you sleep. You should have such dreams that they should not let you sleep. Okay. Yes, you're raising your hand. You want to say something? Okay. So first and foremost, you need to have a dream. And once you have a dream, your dreams should have the power to not let you sleep. That means that every waking moment, you think of how you're going to achieve your dream. And children, let me tell you one thing. If you are determined about what you want in life, nothing can stop you. Nothing can stop you. Your power, you forge through. Okay, nothing in the world will stand in front of you if you are determined about your dreams. Okay, so if you want to study abroad, do not think that you will not be able to go, my parents will not be able to afford. There are many ways in which you can get a scholarship. Okay, there are student loans as well. First is you need to have a fully funded 100% scholarship program. Now, to be able to get to that, you need to get very good marks. First and foremost is that. Secondly, universities abroad don't look at only your marks. Okay? They don't just look at your academic profile. They look at that along with your studies, what other things you are good at and what other things that you've been doing. So if you started a project in your school, okay, or with your community, if you're running a project with the community, say beti bachao desh badhao program, right? Pani bachao, water is life, pani hai to जीवन है. या फिर हिंदी आप लोग को समझ में आता है?
How many of you know?
Not much. Okay. Oh, fine, I'll speak in English. Okay. So similarly, if there's a program with the community that you're doing, these kind of projects are highly valued, and they give you they add a lot of weight to your application. Okay. Then you have participations in different competitions. So that is why Model United Nations takes a very high prestige in the application. Similarly, there are other schoolwork and sports. If you're good at sports, you get scholarship. Okay, a lot of Indian parents don't let the children play a lot of sport. Like I'm a national player. I got university admission just on the basis of my national certificates. I studied on sports scholarship. My parents did not spend a single penny on my graduation. Okay. And I studied in a very expensive college. It's Chandigarh, very expensive private college in Punjab University. My mother paid a lot of fees for my sister, but for my education, my mother did not pay a single penny because I studied on sports scholarship. You know, that way you can help your parents. All right. So I hope I've answered your question.
This is Nandini. I'm an educator from GPH School, Alavaram. I feel very glad to interact with you. Here, my question is, how do you define innovation?
How do you define innovation? Good question. Very good question. Nandini.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, Nandini and class. Innovation, innovation is, so there's something called as invention, which is new. So one is, invention is when new things are made. Okay. So innovation is that there is already, innovation is to do things in a new way. All right. So innovation is first and foremost problem solving, right? So if there is a problem, how to innovatively find an innovative solution, a new way of looking at that particular area. We have 10 minutes, then we'll join back again, no problem. I saw that. Yeah, I saw that, no problem. Okay, so innovation is doing new things, solving problems in a new way. All right, so innovation is finding solutions to the existing problems in a new method. All right. Now, one thing to understand is that what you are innovating in your school might have been innovated already in another school. Okay. But still for you, it remains an innovation. Okay. So this is a very innovative way of of arranging this class, where Mr. Hari has invited a guest lecture from a guest person, a guest from a different part of the world to talk to the students in the school using technology. Now, this is now very common, but the first time it was done, it used to be done by through Skype. Okay, now we've got many different mediums of this connection. But earlier, the first time it was done, it was an innovation, because technology was present, people with expertise were present, but the medium was not there. Now we have the medium. So this is innovative, but still, even if it was done in another school, in another country, the first time they were already innovating it. But suppose in Africa or in a very small part of India, it was done for the first time, it was innovation, innovative technology, innovative use of technology, innovative way of education for that particular school or that particular company. Okay.
Hello, ma'am. My name is Jagdish. I'm studying 8th grade at ZPHS I11. May I pose you a question, ma'am?
Absolutely. Can you repeat your name, please?
Jagdish.
Jagdish. Yes, Jagdish.
What are the 5 Ds of design thinking?
5 Ds of design thinking. Wonderful. Wonderful. So, you know, first and foremost, what is design thinking?
No, ma'am.
Okay. I want all of you to first look up when you go back home today. Okay. All of you've got devices at home. Everybody's got an internet connection. Raise your hand if everybody's got an internet connection and everybody's got a device at home, right? You don't need very big tab. Your mobile phone is a wonderful device. Okay. Everybody's got smartphones these days. So look up the definition of design thinking. What is design thinking? What is the importance of design thinking? This you should be doing it as a project. Okay. This is your homework.
Okay.
So what is design thinking? And what is the importance of design thinking? Where is design thinking used?
Okay.
Where all is design thinking used? How can you use design thinking in your school? All right. So the 5, very simply put, 5 Ds of design thinking is first and foremost discovery. So we are looking at a human-centered process of design thinking. Okay. And a human-centered process of design thinking is based on that how humans are benefited by what you are designing. Okay. So first and foremost is discovery, and then defining the problem, definition. Okay. Then design, then developing that design, and then delivering that design. All right.
Okay, ma'am.
These are the 5. So you define, you demonstrate, you develop, define, you discover, you develop, and you demonstrate. And somewhere in between is the principle of design thinking, where empathy is one such empathy is a very important part of design thinking. Okay. Welcome.
Hello, ma'am.
Who's coming next? Hi.
This is Lakshman, an 8th grader at GPHS Salem. Can I ask one question, ma'am?
Yes, Lakshman, go ahead.
What are the 3 P's of design thinking?
The 3 P's of design thinking.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So the 3 P's of design thinking are problem solving. Okay. And problem solving, there is then the human-centered design, and then there is this iterative approach. So first, I don't want to get into a lot of these heavy words for all of you. I just want you to tell that the 3 P's of design thinking is a 5-step process. And like I told earlier, empathy, empathize, define, ideate, prototype, and then deliver. Okay, test. So first is empathy. What do you want to do? Okay, suppose you see a poor person outside your school gates. All right. Now you want to see that why is this man poor? What can we do to help him? Right. So you first and foremost, you empathize with that person. You first need to find out why he's poor, and then as a group you come together. Then you ideate. Okay. Then ideate is that sorry, there's a fly in my head. So ideate means then you put your head together and put ideas on the paper. Okay, so you got different ideas. What all can you do? You can donate blankets. You can set up a system where people are getting food for him, or so many different ways. Or you can give him employment in the school. You can see that what is his background? Is he educated? Can he work in the school as a Mali? Maybe as simple as, can he work in the school as a Mali, as a gardener, so that he has a regular income? Right? So that's ideation process. So you look at different ideas. Then you create a prototype. Now prototype, if you understand, how many of you understand the meaning of prototype? What is a prototype? So prototype is a model. Prototype could be a model of, or a design of the object or the article or the machine that you are making. So prototype is the first, is the structure or the design of the machine. Suppose in the school, you have this problem of water leakage in the taps. You see, when you take a energy audit of the school, water audit of the school, you see a lot of leaking taps, right? So, and that really bothers you because water, jal hi jeevan hai, water wastage, especially fresh water wastage, it has to stop. Okay, so what do you do then? Then you come and you define the problem, that school has say 20 taps around the school. Out of 20, 15 taps are leaking. It is a big problem. This is on a daily basis. If there are 15,000 drops that are leaking from the tap, from one tap, that means 15,000 drops collected will become how many liters? And that many liters of water into 20 taps, that many gallons of water is getting wasted on a daily basis, right? So you've defined the problem. Then you ideate, what can we do? How can we stop the water from leaking? There's 1 minute left. Then you create a prototype. Then you design if there is a cap to be put on it. If there is a system where we can collect this water, and that water collected can then go into receptacle that can go into watering the garden. Getting me? Right? And then you test that prototype. So that you make a design, you first make a 3D model, then you make into an electronic 3D model, then you make it into a physical model. See if it requires the battery operations and all, how it is going to work. Take help from the community. If you get engineers, somebody's got engineer parents at home, they can help you with making those things. And then you test it. Once the testing is done, then finish. Then you can, that's a startup. That also is a startup.
Ma'am, can I ask one question?
Of course, of course.
Could you please explain about reading skills?
Okay, okay, wonderful. What do you want to know about reading skills?
Ma'am, I want to know about their uses and how.
Usage. Okay. You will find the definition on internet. You can, these days, learning is on the go. You are a generation which is born with technology. You are a generation which is good at technology, better at technology than us. Okay, so you must use technology for your benefit. Anything that you want to know, Google. Google auntie will tell you everything, right? Google auntie's got all the answers. So learning is on the go. You've got your mobile phone, you've got internet connection. You have learning available to you 24/7, right? So make use of that. Okay, so you can look up the Wikipedia definition of reading skills on the net. What I'm going to tell you is, from a teacher's point of view, how do we define reading skills and what is the importance of reading in life? Okay, so reading skill is the ability to read with understanding, to comprehend what you are reading, and to be able to use the knowledge that you have read to then further you in your other subjects. Okay, so reading skills is to be able to read with understanding. And when you read with understanding, then you're also able to speak better, because you develop vocabulary, you understand sentence structure. You know, in my time, when Mr. Hari and we were in school, we didn't study in the same school. We studied in different parts of the world. But what I'm telling you is that when we were in school, we were taught grammar by the rule. Okay, we were taught grammar by the rule, how to use noun, how to use tenses. We went through that entire rigmarole of how many kind of tenses are there, then where do you use simple present tense, simple indefinite, indefinite, continuous, past continuous, present continuous, future continuous. All that was taught by rule to us. Okay, but now CBSE has done away with that kind of syllabus. Now it is functional English. Functional English is we learn by way of communication. Okay, so a lot of communication that you want to strengthen, that will come from reading. Okay, I'll tell you something interesting. Are you able to understand what I'm speaking?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the lower, 1 being the lower part, 10 being the highest score, where do you rate my English?
At 9 or 10.
9 on 10. 9 on 10. Okay. Why not 10 on 10?
Ma'am,
Why not 10 on 10? Why did you give me 9 on 10?
because I'm not able to understand the small words like pronunciation. I'm not able to understand.
Okay. So I need to improve my pronunciation. Okay. Wonderful. Thank you for that honest feedback. Okay. On a scale of 1 to 10, you rate my English as 9. Okay, which I consider it my fortune, and thank you so much for rating me 9. Now, will you be surprised if I tell you that when I was your age, I was not able to speak English confidently? I studied in a state board and my English was terrible. I used to make a lot of grammatical errors and I was not confident to speak in front of public. That means either it was debating or talking to strangers, talking to my teachers, even talking to my friends. I was not confident of speaking English at all, communicating in English at all. Are you surprised to hear me speak now at this, when you're giving me 9 out of 10?
I'm very surprised, ma'am.
I myself am surprised. Now I give lectures in English. People say my English is very good. I'm very surprised. Now, how did that happen? How did I improve my English?
Because of reading skills.
Because of reading. Bang on spot. Because of reading. Okay. So this is the importance of reading in our life. Okay. So reading skills are basically to be able to read with understanding, grasp the vocabulary that is there in the structures that you're reading, and also to be able to read in with flow, without stopping, without breaks, and to be able to speak, to be able to read Absolutely. And there's also speed. I mean, if you go by the technicality of it, then there's also speed at which you can read. But I'm not getting into that. I'm just making you understand reading skills is the ability to read with understanding. Okay. And be simple, to be able to read with understanding. That is reading skill. Because you must have seen it in your own class. When the teacher asks the children to read loud, you know, sometimes in English class, you have to read a chapter and then read a portion, and then the teacher explains that portion, right?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
there are students who struggle with reading. They even in grade 9, they put a finger and they read. Have you seen that?
Yes, ma'am.
Right? So some students put finger on the words and they read. They need to see that flow. So that is not a good reading skill. Okay. So you should be able to read without any breaks. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. How does reading help us to speak any language fluently?
Okay. So see, when you read, okay, you are able to read with comprehension. You gain fluency in reading. You are able to understand the reading sound. It's called phonics. I did not. I didn't answer this in the first. I mean, when your friend was asking me what are reading skills, so there is phonics that is involved in reading. That is the sound of the letter. Okay, the syllables, you know that the letter has also got syllables. A word gets broken into, is made up of different syllables. That's a chunk of sound. Okay, like say for the word, for the word thinking, thinking. There are 2 syllables. Okay, think, ing, king. 3 syllables if you look at it. So the reading skills are made up of these. So first and foremost is like, you know, phonics, then phonics, the sound, then sound awareness, how to use that sound, to identify the word, and then to read with fluency, then read with comprehension. All right, to be able to decode the vocabulary. So now when you're able to do all this, which means that you then become better at communication. Reading helps you to become better communicator. Because if you're not able to read, only able to speak, then that is half communication. So I would over here tell you that there are 4 pillars of communication. Okay? 4 pillars of communication: reading, writing, listening, speaking. Okay? You have to be good at all the 4 pillars of communication to be able to become a good, have good communication skills. Okay, so it starts with reading, then speaking, then writing. If you're able to read, then you're able to write better. If you're able to read, then you're able to speak better. Okay, but there is one skill, one pillar which a lot of us are not good at, that is listening. So to be able to listen with understanding, if what I'm speaking right now, you're able to hear it, understand it. And then when you understand it, then it becomes part of your memory. Right? So listening is another very important skill, because and the listening is one skill that you develop when you're as a student. Because when the teacher speaks, they are explaining a content or a concept, you listen. And if you're good at listening, then you, and with that listening, if you're able to understand, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So then you're able to become better at that concept. So it's a theorem, a physical, in Pythagoras theorem or Boyle's law, or any other science concept that the teacher is teaching you. Geography, what is the difference between climate and weather? Why does it rain when more in mountains? Or why is in the desert the nights are cooler and the days are hotter? So if you're able to listen to that carefully, and if you're able to listen and understand it, then you become better at your work. You're able to comprehend what you're listening. Okay, so all that has its roots in reading. So one of the pillars of comprehension is reading. Now reading will help you to Improve your vocabulary first and foremost, sentence structure. Right? A lot of our what we speak comes from what we listen and what we read. Then only we will be able to write. Right? We will not be able to write unless and until we have a good vocabulary and we are aware of grammar. So sentence structure, I could write, it is a hot day. Sun is shining outside. And if I'm a good writer, I will be able to write it very beautifully. Oh, what a lovely day that the sun decides to bless us with its morning in this morning. Right? So make it more flowery. Okay. So reading helps us to become better at speaking and writing. And when we are reading, when we are able to write, when we are able to speak, then we're also able to listen well. Because reading has helped for us to now identify the sounds of the words and the meaning of those words. Okay, if I say something like fantabulous, scintillating, or something as something more, this thing, ideation. So are you able to give me a definition of, or definition or meaning, sorry, not definition, meaning of the word scintillating? What is scintillating?
Fabulous.
But fabulous, wonderful. Fantabulous, what is fantabulous?
Same meaning.
Same meaning. So fantabulous is actually no word, but people now, because language is also very dynamic. Language has this quality of, language is alive. Language is a live entity. So it will keep adding words into it as the world grows. So English is an amalgamation of many different languages. There's Arabic in it, French in it, Spanish in it, Italian in it. A lot of Indian words are there, Hindi words are there. So now fantabulous is a word which has been constructed with the word fantastic and fabulous. Right? Fantastic and fabulous become fantabulous. Something like which is both fantastic and fabulous at the same time. What is ideation?
No, no.
No, no, ma'am.
Okay. So ideation is the ability to, when a group comes together, to think with different ideas, put a lot of ideas to solve a problem. That is ideation. Okay, that you people do it all the time in the school. There's a math problem, there's a science problem, you come together, you ideate, you design things like that. Okay, so now what I'm saying is that if you're aware of this vocabulary, you're able to understand better. That helps with reading, because vocabulary development comes with reading. So that is the importance of reading in our life. That was your primary question, that why should we read? How to, or what is the importance of reading to improve language? So this is how language improves. Language is a skill. It is like swimming. Any skill becomes better with practice. So if it is like cycling, it is like running. Okay, it is like math. Math is very simple and straightforward. It is practice improves math. Math cannot improve without practicing daily and with as many variety as you can. Similarly, language is a skill which improves with practice. Now imagine if you are living in a cave, okay, and you don't have anybody to talk to. Then do you think you will have language development?
No.
So language is to be spoken. Okay, so in the school, like all of you speak very good English. I'm very, very happy with that. So it will improve when you continue to speak English, continue to read, and continue to add and try and speak in a different way, using different vocabulary, different structures. All right. So this is the way. And the importance of language is, see, why are humans different from animals?
Language.
Language, because we are able to express our feelings and our emotions, our ideas through the ability to speak. And by the grace of God, and this world is so beautiful that we have different languages in the world, and there are people who can speak who are multilingual. That means one person can speak different languages. Sometimes you find some people speaking 13 different languages, 5 different languages, maximum, like for me, maximum 4. But there are people who are multilingual. They have lingual dexterity. That means they are able to learn any language with ease and able to speak those languages, and then the ability to switch languages. Okay, now this is again very important. Understand this. All of us have a very different, very pronounced mother tongue influence. It is called MTI. Now, this mother tongue influence is that our vernacular background. So the language that we speak at home, India is got 29 states, and each state has its own language. And you can make out, sometimes you meet people and the way they speak English, you can make out which state they are from. Like I can identify people from Assam, from West Bengal. You can identify people from Punjab. You can identify people from Kashmir. You can identify people from Tamil Nadu, from Kerala, from Goa. Okay, all right, they speak English like they don't have Maharashtra, because when they speak a different language, the mother tongue influences their way of speaking. So that should not be there. You should be able to switch between languages without one language affecting the other, without one language influencing the other. So the idea is, first and foremost, pronunciation. And the second is that you should be able to think in the language that you're speaking. If you're speaking English, then you should be able to think in English and speak. If you're thinking in Marathi, or if you're thinking, where is the school located? I'm sorry?
Andhra Pradesh.
Andhra Pradesh. So if you're thinking in Telugu and you're going to speak in English, then what the brain does is it translates. Right? You think in Telugu and you speak in English, you translate. So what happens then is that your way of thinking in Telugu then affects your ability to speak English. So your those colloquials and those words that the way we speak, like for very simple example is, Hindi mein we say na jaldi jaldi aao, jaldi jaldi jao, right? You understand Hindi?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? So हम लोग हिंदी में बोलते हैं जल्दी जल्दी आओ, and I have seen literal translation students saying come fast. In English it is wrong. You can't come fast, you can only come fast, or you can rush, or you can come quickly. Okay, so there are many things like this, many words like this that we have seen when students think in their mother tongue and speak English. So that switch, it has to be very strong, that you think in the language that you are speaking, and that will come with reading that particular literature in that particular language. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Did you, I mean, I hope I made sense. I didn't zap you out.
Yes, yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Hi, ma'am.
Hi.
My name is Navyasri. I am studying 9th grade. Can I ask one question, ma'am?
Okay. Another thing about speaking is speak slowly. There's no rush. There is no Shatabdi waiting outside the school for you to catch, right? So speaking, why I said this was speaking skill. Communication skill, I told you, is 4 pillars of communication, right? Speaking is a very important pillar. So if I tell you my name is Abhilasha Singh, then we'll get it, right? So you have to speak slowly for the other person to understand and to be able to make an impression on that person. Okay. Now can you tell me your name again?
Navyasri.
Navyasri. Okay. Yes, Navyasri. Pose your question.
Could you mind telling you as about sustainable development goals.
Sustainable development goals.
Sustainable developmental goals.
Okay. Okay. All of you can see the screen?
Yes.
All right. So this is what, have you seen this poster before?
No. No.
Not teacher.
Okay. So these are the 17 sustainable development goals that were given by the UN in 2015. And the date to accomplish these goals are 2030. That means 2030, all these goals should be completed. Okay. Now, this looks like a very very ambitious target. Okay. Now these are 17 goals which have got 169 targets, which means each goal has got its own target. Okay, you know that goals are bigger, and goal has got a pathway, and targets are these pathways, milestones to achieve the goals. Okay, so goal number 1 is no poverty. Goal number 2 is zero hunger, good health and well-being, quality education, gender equality, clean water and sanitation, clean energy, affordable and clean energy, decent work, industry, innovation and infrastructure, reduced inequalities, sustainable cities and communities, responsible consumption and production, climate action, life below water, life on land, peaceful, justice and strong institutions, and partnership for the goals. Now, what we are doing today, me sitting in another part of the world, Mr. Hari and all of you sitting in another part of the world, we are using technology for education. We are using technology for social good. And for what? Which goal? Goal number 4, quality education. Okay. So partnership, 17th goal today is in action. We are partnering together for quality education. That means that creating awareness for the students, partnering to understand how the UN SDGs are to be accomplished. First and foremost, to be able to first understand what are the UN SDGs. Okay, so this goal number 17 is extremely important and is one of my favorite goals. So today it is goal number 17 in action. So similarly, there are different targets which all the countries around the world have to achieve to ensure all these goals are met. So goal number 1 has got their own targets, 2 has got its own target. But what is important is that at school level, now the policies are made by the governments, and the governments around the world have their own mechanisms, and that way their responsibility is to ensure that the people in the world, in their country, the citizens are afforded these opportunities. Are say in India, there should not be any person who is living below poverty. But we know that there are a lot of people still, a large majority percentage of the of the poor people in India are living below poverty line. And because of that, they are hungry. So there should be zero hunger. That means the food insecurity in the world has to reduce. Good health and well-being. One of the targets of good health and under good health and well-being is that maternal health care. No woman should be dying while giving childbirth, during childbirth. That means no death should happen on the labor table. Okay. And then there's also good health services should be available to all the people in the world. That means every citizen in a country should have access to good health services. And then well-being. Now, well-being is a very big word. It is not just related to physical well-being, but mental health. Mental health is a very big component of our life, and a stable, having good body, but having like issues, mental issues, then that spoils a lot of activities in our life, right? We can have a lot of money, we can afford, but if mentally we are not sound, if mentally we are not at peace, then our work is affected. So it all affects productivity of a country. So good health and well-being. Now, quality education, one of the goals of quality education, one of the targets of goal number 4 is 4.7, nobody to be left behind. That means equity and equality. All the children around the world, each and every individual in the world should have access to quality education. Okay? That means we want to see, UN wants to see all the children below the age of 16 in school. Every child getting primary education. That means grade 10. Everybody should be able to go to school. Similarly, gender equality. So I can, like these, there are targets for each and every goal. Now, one of the goals that's one of my favorite is climate action. This affects our life and this affects the future. You are the future of the world. So like this, these are the sustainable development goals, and these are the 5 Ps of the sustainable development goals. Mr. Hari,